Hello, my name is Miko, and I just wanted to have a brief introduction of what I intend for this channel, and what motivated me to make this channel, as well as who I am and why I made like a lot of videos about debating. So first, who am I? And I'm sharing this because I feel like this will color a lot of the discussions about debating. Um, Things about like the terminology that I use might be particular to the circuits that I've competed in, the time in which I've debated. So I'm Miko. I'm a former university debater from Ateneo de Manila University in the Philippines. I debated for 6 years from 2016 to 2022, and I have experience in BP, Asians, Australs, and 3v3. So even for the future of this channel, I don't really imagine myself doing other kinds of debating formats just because I don't think I'm experienced enough in them. I have been fortunate enough to do things like make the finals of Worlds twice. I've won Australs, I've won Asians thrice, as well as Nationals. So why did I make this channel? I think the motivation was mostly that people have asked me to coach, give workshops, or have asked me questions, and these are particularly people without formal debating institutions, coaches, and more. And while I have tried my best to respond, to like, participate in workshops, and to help out people who had questions, it was just very difficult. And notably, I think it's something that I feel like a lot of questions were repeating, or a lot of people could have learned if I had put them all in one place and then given the same lecture rather than doing this in different instances for different groups of people. And I think this channel might be the best way to kind of standardize that, make sure that what I could possibly share and contribute could be accessed and reached by as many people as possible. I do think there's a wealth of available content online. And my biggest hope with this channel is not to be redundant. There are a lot of other people who have given great advice, a lot of other people who have talked about debating in ways that probably have done better than me. But my hope is to make this all more easily digestible and like easier to navigate. So I intend to structure this channel as well as provide resources such as helpful links. All the PowerPoints that I'll be using will be attached in video descriptions, etc. Moreover, I intend to supplement coaching. So I want all the boring parts to be lighter on coaches, like explaining the format, going through the very basics of debating. Because from my experience as a coach, I've had to go over those basics every year when we take in a new batch of people debating. And while definitely I enjoy that and think that that's very valuable, there are a bunch of students who might already be familiar with the format and might not be having, like, gaining much additional value from doing this. And I do think there are many disadvantages to this channel. It's very impersonal. I can't give you feedback on your particular speeches. So I intend to make this as standard as possible, but do note that there are many things this channel will never be able to achieve. So what do I hope for this channel to look like? I want to structure content. So in terms of the basic curriculum, and given the, I guess, release of this channel, there will be 3 sets of videos. The first is the beginner series, or at least half of it, that I intend to go over just the very basics of debating, not yet so much the technicalities of the format, for example, just the basic elements of a debate. Second is the intermediate series, so also half of this, and that aims to target, so the beginner series is mostly for people who might have just attended their introduction to debating orientation or are thinking about getting into debating. The intermediate series is more geared towards people who have had quite a bit of experience in debating, and want to further their skills, perhaps maybe have done a couple tournaments or haven't yet to do one and are preparing for one. The advanced series I intend for people who've had quite a few tournaments and breaks under their belt. I'm still trying to conceptualize what that might entail and hopefully still want to add value in this group. But in order to ensure that I have something at the start for all kinds of debaters, I have come up with a new series that I haven't mentioned here, which is the core debate series, and I'll go into more detail of what that means. But basically, I think a lot of the debates are repeating; they are all the same, and I want to go over how to prepare and have arguments for those very efficiently. There are other potential additional series, so that's one of them, the core debate series. But maybe things like mental in debating, how to deal with the losses, etc. Maybe there are more specific lectures, as well as possibly just the overall preparation for majors process, how to case file, etc. I'll probably go into much shorter content at the start, especially for people that are just getting into it. But maybe for more advanced topics, I'll probably need a lot of time to go through that. Second is I want to have like low production value. So just PowerPoint and OBS is what I'm using right now. And I want to focus more so on the content. So I want to make this available, and I want to note that I'm going to borrow heavily from the World University's Debating Championship Manual. And I might respond to feedback, so let me know if there's anything you'd want to cover. The reason I want low production value is I just want to make this as reproducible as possible. All the content I've put up at the launch, I guess, of this channel, it was honestly very exhausting to make. And I think that like editing the videos or having a much more detailed like presentation for each and every topic would be a lot for me. I'm also still studying and I'm doing a bit of work, so I'd want to make sure that I can get back to this. I want to make this sustainable, and I don't want this to be like a one-time thing that I go off and do and then bounce from forever. Some disclaimers about this. First is that I'm no authority on this. I've had quite a bit of debating experience, and I like to think that there's a lot that I can contribute to improving debating, but I also know that there are things I might say that people could disagree with, and that's perfectly like all good. Don't take anything here as like a particular rule of debating or anything like that. Just hopefully things that might help you improve. Second is I speak mostly from my context. So as an Asian Filipino debater, this means that a lot of the terminology that I use or things like that are from my own experiences in the circuits that I've been in. So you might have a different word for it, you might have a different way of explaining things, etc. So take note of that. I think the biggest way this impacts what I might discuss is the format. So a lot of circuits don't have 3v3, for example, whereas in Asia it's a very popular format. We don't have PF or 2v2 formats, so that might not be here. Third is I'm going to make a lot of definitions, categories, etc. And the reason I like to put things in like neat little boxes is I think it helps people understand what I feel to be a very complex game. So by putting things in those like neat little boxes, I think it'll help you learn and improve more. But I want to note that a lot of these will overlap. A lot of my definitions won't be crystal like, or rather clear cut. And you don't have to memorize or distinguish things very clearly, because honestly judges won't be doing the same thing. It's just a matter of being able to guide yourself into frameworks of thinking that could possibly be helpful, and having names for it, being able to divide complex things into simpler things really help that process. Last thing is that debating changes gradually but also quickly. And what I mean by that is I have made this all in 2022. And honestly, even from 2020, for example, debating has changed a lot. And I am not sure how much this information is going to be useful or how long this information will be useful for, but my hope is that it's for a while. So that's all. Check out, I guess, any of the content I've just put up, and I hope to be of any help at all.